Hello, everyone. Welcome to Psychology 331 Developmental Psychology. So, rather than thinking about this as simply an introduction to an online course, I'd like to invite you to think about the next 10 minutes as setting up the roadmap for your future success. So, let's go ahead and get started. Before we jump in and talk about the course, let me introduce myself a little so you know who's guiding you through this journey. I'm Dr. Fu. I am a counseling psychologist by training. I graduated with a PhD from the University of Missouri, and this year I'm starting my fourth year here at FSU in the Department of Psychology. And in the past 4 years, I've always taught a version of this course. I'm really excited to be doing it again. And in the next few weeks, we're going to talk about the theories and the foundation of developmental psychology. But one thing I want you to know right now is developmental psychology is about changes throughout life. And this relates to one of my goals that I have for you and for myself and the journey that we're about to embark in. So, as you can see on the screen, I am a maximizer. So if I had to describe myself professionally, that's who I'd be. And what does that mean exactly? One of my favorite things about teaching or counseling is that I love the process of seeing people grow, seeing where they're at right now, seeing what they're good at, and essentially exploring that potential and taking it further to better, to best, to wherever you want it to be. So that really excites me. The idea of taking something that's already good, that's something you're passionate about, and then being creative about where we could take it next. So, how does that relate to our course? Just to briefly capture a little bit about my teaching philosophy. Obviously, the course content matters, and I'm really excited about developmental psychology, but I want you to think about the course content really as more of a process of we're using that content to help you develop skills that you can use beyond this course, beyond this semester. That's going to be related to your future career. So, one of my goals to help you do that is I want to meet you where you're at, give you individual feedback, and work with you in the best way possible as much as I can. So, the reason why I want to focus more on skills rather than content area is that in a report recently released by the AACNU, the Association of American Colleges and Universities, they've asked college graduates as well as employers, and what they found was college graduates are often more confident in their skills and readiness to enter the real world, to enter the workforce, versus employers are saying, we want them to be a little bit more ready. We want them to gain more skills, and we want them to have a smaller gap between what they've learned in school and making that plunge into applying all that in the real world. So I've listed five top skills areas, so to speak, that the employers reported that they really value in a college graduate. So essentially, if you are to be successful after college in the workforce, and this isn't really specific to any fields, but this is what they found across different disciplines when they've asked employers. So it's essentially your ability to be able to communicate effectively through written words as well as presenting verbally, your ability to work with others in teams through leadership, through collaboration, your ability to make decisions, informed decisions professionally, ethically, and critical thinking, which is the ability to think about things on a more complex level, consider different information that sometimes contradict each other or may not be what you personally believe in, and still being able to make that informed decision, as well as what we kind of talked about before, that ability to apply either research or theories into the real world and have it make sense. So, this is why, yes, content is great, but content really doesn't help you unless you're able to kind of translate that and have that skills to be able to fit whatever job that you enter into. And again, regardless of what plans you have after college, whether it is to enter the workforce or go into graduate school, you want to be able to demonstrate that you've got skills. You've got more than just a good report card or that piece of paper that showed that you finished college. So, my goal is to use this semester to help you assess where your skills are at, talk about your strengths, how you can build them, and to be able to manage maybe some growth areas that you might not be the strongest in. So the way that I've structured and designed our course is really related to Bloom's taxonomy of learning, which is on your screen right now. Essentially what it is the way to learn effectively is to start at the beginning, where you're remembering, you're able to recall certain facts, and you're able to demonstrate that you understand it. Then you work your way up, where you're applying some of these concepts and theories into real life, and to be able to see what fits, what doesn't. And then at the higher level, where you might be creating something new or evaluating the evidence that you have and the decisions moving forward, and then analyzing this from a different angle. So, we will work our way up from the bottom, from more factual content aspects of the course to higher learning goals, such as creating, evaluating, and analyzing. So let's go ahead and put this into context and look at the different assignments you will be doing this semester. So this is what I call the developmental psychology pie that we'll be engaging in this semester. 15% are quizzes. There will be 10 of them. They're typically mostly 10 multiple choice questions. Sometimes it'll be less, multiple choices with a couple of fill in the blanks, short essay questions, look at this graph and interpret it type of questions, but they should be relatively straightforward. You do get 2 attempts for these quizzes. And really, the quizzes are a way for me to kind of assess your basic understanding, your ability to recall certain information from the textbook. Again, it's that lower part of Bloom's taxonomy of learning. And the midterm and final are very similar in format. It's just a lot more questions, 30 questions per piece. And for those, you only get 1 attempt. So that's the difference between midterm finals versus your quote unquote weekly quizzes. And another thing that you'll be doing in addition to the quizzes and the exam is discussion boards. So I like to think about discussion boards as a way for you to really interact with your peers, to get feedback from me. And a discussion board isn't just about agreeing with each other and building on. Sometimes it is about offering a different perspective, maybe confronting someone in a very gentle way of, yes, I see your point. This is what I understand you're saying. And at the same time, have you considered another perspective? And I think a lot of times we do learn and grow most when we're faced with something that's so dramatically different from what we've known and what we've believed in. It actually expands our worldview, which is a really essential skill when you enter the workforce, because not everybody will agree with you, not everybody will think the same. And how do you kind of negotiate and navigate that difference will be really important. So I see discussion board as a way for us to go beyond the content, to maybe analyze a situation, a theory from a different perspective, and have a chance to get feedback, give feedback to each other. Then let's go along the pie and look at the CLA. I'll give a lot more information and explanation when the time comes close, but 2 times over the semester, you'll be given a writing intensive task. Many of you have done the CLA entering FSU, which is the Collegiate Learning Assessment. This is where you'll be given several documents as well as a task to complete. So one example of a CLA that you'll be doing this semester is you're going to pretend you are a daycare director and you want to make some informed decisions about whether or not to adopt screen time for children at your center of a particular age. So the thing about the CLA is it really isn't about your past experience, your personal belief, what you would do really personally, but it's about looking through the documents. What are the evidence that's there? What are the arguments that people are making, and critiquing those arguments and then making informed decisions based on those documents. So this would be the part where we're using more analytical skills, we're using more writing and communication skills to demonstrate your point. And so, yeah, I think that's primarily what I want you to know about the CLA right now. I'll provide more information when the time comes closer. And finally, we come to what I call Design Your Dream blank project. This is an individual project that has several steps. So essentially what you'll do is you'll start learning about the various aspects of developmental psychology. Start thinking about an area that interests you the most, at least interests you enough that you'd be willing to do a individual presentation on it. And while we are in online class, I do want you to fully have that experience of being able to present a topic that's interesting to you, to be able to put together that presentation, get feedback from me and a peer, and then to improve on it. So there will be several steps, and all of that are described in your syllabus, and then as well as the due dates. But essentially, think about this as we're going to have several due dates where initially you think about a topic and maybe a brief explanation as to why you want to do what you want to do. What people have done in the past is if they want to go into teaching profession, they might have designed a curriculum incorporating theories of developmental psychology into whatever it is that they're teaching. People have redesigned a space, they've designed a toy that they think would be really great for an age group. They've maybe done interviews with some professionals outside. It doesn't really matter as long as it's something that you're interested in and that's something that you'd be able to um, commit for a good chunk of your time. So that is primarily what the assignments will be about. And like I said, one of my goals this semester is to be able to give you feedback as much as I can. Sometimes I might do that through announcement if it's relevant to the whole class. If not, I really try to be very timely and immediate in my feedback after an assignment is due. So I do pretty detailed discussion board feedbacks individually, and then a summative one for the whole group. And then definitely with your individual project as well as your writing for the CLA, I'll be providing feedback for those. So that is basically it for my roadmap for your future success. If you have any more questions at any point of the semester, please do not hesitate to contact me. I am pretty readily available on email. Canvas messages works as well. We can also set up a time to Skype or talk on the phone if you feel like that's the best way to kind of go in more depth. And if you happen to be a in-person student where you are able to come on campus, you can utilize those office hours as well. So the bottom line, please do not hesitate to use me as a resource, use me as a guide. I am happy to be here of assistance as long as you let me know what it is that you need. So that is it for right now. I look forward to touching base with each one of you as the weeks kind of unfold and progress. Don't forget to check out the first module that has the first chapter and the online lecture. So I will talk to you guys soon, okay? Take care. Bye bye.